man.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, man. Today I almost cried thinking about you, man.
Cam started crying, man.
For real, how you doing these days, man?
I see you every day. This morning, I literally see you every day. So just this morning, you about to...
Cam going up against me is like Fredo going up against Michael Corleone. He's Cameo.
Yo, just this morning you gonna cry for me?
Yeah, man.
Right, man.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Well, I'm good.
You never told me about you and Big L and Dame being in the car.
I was on my way to the hill, me, him, and Big L. And I made a left on Amsterdam into a checkpoint, and I didn't have a license. But at that time, they didn't really always lock you up, but they sometimes did. So I was like, yo, I think I can get out of this, but I'm just letting y'all know I got 3 bricks in the car, but I'll wear it.
This time, Mase and Camron humiliated Dame Dash in front of the entire globe as part of the Harlem Legends comeback. They respond to Dame's attempt to take credit for their accomplishments with frank humor and uncompromising honesty. And believe me, things quickly became ugly.
Wow, yeah, yo, I seen that. I didn't know me, Big L, and Dame was in the car together.
Cam started crying, man. And he told us right then and there that he would put himself in PC. Dad, I'm putting myself in PC. Me and Big L like, what? What? I
didn't even know that me, Big L, and Dame have ever been in the car together.
Oh, man.
You know what's great? I was going to save that for my show because I didn't want to get into this. I really didn't want to get into it.
Yeah, I was going to mind my business, but I saw Mo with the popcorn. I said, so he's taking my part, boss.
I've never, look at Mo got the
I might as well talk with Flea.
So we went to the side and was like, you know, afterwards we were laughing, but I was like, I will never hustle with him. He's a ball player and he does music. So I never really, he's a civilian. But you can't be saying you the best that ever did it in Harlem and you never sold drugs. And if you had to go to Ohio after you was a rapper, that's not the best that ever did it. How dare you say some shit like that?
Once more, here we go. Dame Dash is unable to control Mase and Camron's speech. The Harlem drama has returned with greater vigor than before after years of tension. In a recent interview, Dame attempted to claim credit for everyone's moves by reciting the same old spiel. This time, he asserted that Mase and Cam's hustle and mindset served as the inspiration for his popular show, It's What It Is, claiming that they took inspiration from him. Both Mase and Cam, as well as the internet, couldn't stand it and clapped back on air, humiliating him in front of the entire culture. It began when Dame sat down to reminisce about the Rockefeller days while listening to a brief podcast. He was cool at first, discussing ownership and brand building. However, his tone changed as the interview continued. He began by claiming that Mase and Cam had learned everything from me and that if they hadn't watched me first, they wouldn't be acting in the same way. The fans said, wait, what? Since everyone is aware that Dame was not involved with Mase or Cam's performance. That was created from the ground up, just pure chemistry and Harlem energy with no label or support.
Totally, but I didn't know that was such a liar. Like, you know how your man is your man, so you probably don't be annoyed. Like that's your man. You be like, nah, you just hate us. I didn't know this a lot like that, man. Yeah. First of all, let me tell you something. And last I'm gonna talk Flea, but Mase know.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, bro. Big L is not your man. This whole shit don't even make no sense. First of all, I'll say this real quick because we gotta move on. Me, you, and Big L going to get drugs or riding around Harlem don't even sound right. Big L didn't f with you. I tried to plug you into Big L when you wanted to sign him when he started his own label, Flamboyant. And y'all was trying to sign him. But Big L brother, Big Lee and Reg, they didn't like you. If you had 3 bricks in the car, or you was on the way to get 3 bricks in the car, or on the way to get bricks, whatever fucking lie you told, story you told, you wouldn't have made it home. Big L lines niggas. Mase, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You lied to me. So,
Yo, Big
you
L.
got a point there.
That's what
Yeah, you quick on your feet.
Big L lines like barbers, my nigga. You wouldn't have made it home, my nigga. Stop that. Yo, it's really, you going out bad, bro. Stop lying, my nigga. Me, you, and Big L have never been nowhere to get no work or had no work or stopped in a checkpoint or nothing, my nigga. You going out bad, but I'll just don't talk with Flea Murder. But yeah, man, you might need to say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
So when clips of that interview hit social media, the reactions came fast. People were calling Dame delusional, saying he's living off stories from 20 years ago. And that's when Mase and Camron stepped in to set the straight, but in their own hilarious Harlem way. On the next episode of It Is What It Is, they didn't hold back. Mase looked straight at the camera and said, "Yo, stop letting people rewrite history, man. Ain't nobody teach us how to talk. We were born with game." Cam followed up with that smirk and said, "Dame out here talking like he invented hustle. Nah, he just loud about it." The whole studio started laughing, but underneath the jokes, you could tell they were dead serious. Mase and Cam were tired of Dame trying to attach himself to their success every time they win. This wasn't even the first time Dame pulled this move. Every time one of them does something big, he slides into interviews acting like he was part of it. From Dipset's legacy to Mase's comeback, Dame's always trying to remind people how much he inspired Harlem. But the truth is, Harlem outgrew him a long time ago. And that's what made this roast so funny, because it wasn't just jokes, it was closure. Mase and Cam were basically saying, "You're not our boss, you are memory."
Oh no, you keep bringing Larry's name up. He'd be like, "Yeah, I gave you Larry."
I put you with Larry.
Pause.
Because you're sitting next to Larry. I introduced you to Larry.
Man, I got a lot, but a little.
First of all,
I'm the reason why he got sued.
But what happened was Larry and I and Muddy Waters, the people that are suing me now, we all threw down on a movie and there was a disagreement of some sort. And this is the reason why I have all these lawsuits now. And I don't like the way Larry did his business and he hung up on me.
boom, let's move on to A-Track. He told me I ain't supporting A-Track album. One day Dame like, "Yo, this nigga ain't A-Track, he's nice, da-da-da-da." I'm like, all right, cool, Dame got an ear, he know what's going on. Let's do it. A-Track come to my house. This probably 2013, 14, I got a studio in my house. He come to my house, this word to everything I love. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm in the middle of shuffling. You can ask anybody who there. Rocky, Dame's wife, his assistant, they all still around. Ask him. I'm shuffling, doing songs. I cooked a full course meal and knocked out 7 songs in like an hour and a half. 7 songs. And cooked everybody food, sandwiches, all that. That's me. That's how well-rounded I am. Dame can't deny it. You ask him about it, he'll tell you.
The internet went wild when that episode aired. Clips were being reposted by fans who dubbed it the most hilarious Harlem clapback ever. Dame wasn't simply made fun of by Mase and Cam, they reminded everyone of the reasons behind their chemistry. The whole thing appeared to be smooth because of the harmony between Mase's cool assurance and Cam's slick comedy. They didn't even speak louder, they simply spoke like two self-assured men. Dame is still out there seeking approval. Something that Cam said struck a deep chord. Whenever we do something, someone from the past appears and claims to have taught us. You weren't present in the room when we were constructing this, bro. Fans were yelling facts online after that line. Sincerely, Dame has been following the same pattern for years in an effort to remain current by associating with attractive people. Dame consistently presents himself as the mastermind behind everyone else's success, whether it's Jay-Z, Kanye, or more recently, Mase and Cam. It's funny because when we were all coming up, I don't remember him giving me no mic, no beat, no contract. I recall that he spoke a lot. That statement struck a deep chord because although not said explicitly, Mase implied that Dame's greatest contribution to the game was attitude rather than action. He was outspoken, self-assured, and inspiring. Indeed, but in terms of outcomes, the artist was the one who created history.
Damn, Cam, you in here doing rhymes and cooking and yeah, man, take a turkey wing, man. Get a lamb chop, nigga. Let me go in the booth, spit these bars. And you dropping fire like that, boom, yeah, cool. I knocked the whole album out, maybe 2 trips. When Dame was there, it was cool, the album was cool. As soon as Dame leave, A-Track, and he my duty, all that, he's cool. Me and him, I have no problems. But he becomes all artsy. Do you think that if we put the snare where the treble should be. And then boom, we get another beat. I'm like, I ain't tracked the done. Yo, what are you talking about? I put a marvelous masterpiece together while I was cooking. I think we should get this person on something. All right, bet, do what you want. I gave you the bars. 2 years passed. Like, yo, let's freshen up the album. All right, cool, go in the studio again. We go in the studio again.
Next followed the internet-breaking joke that went viral. Cam chuckled and remarked, "I'm sending Dame an invoice for emotional consulting the next time he talks about us. He obviously believes he's controlling us once more." Online fans couldn't get enough of Mase's outbursts of laughter. Millions of people viewed footage of the line on Instagram and TikTok in a few hours. In the comment sections of Dame's interviews, people were citing it and referring to him as the unpaid life coach of Harlem. The story even began to get picked up by blogs. Headlines such as "Mase and Cam roast Dame for rewriting Harlem history" were put on hip-hop pages. Additionally, the comment sections were brutal. Dame was still living in 2002, and Mase and Cam just gave him the reality check he needed, was one of the comments made by fans. However, this was not a one-time event. A cultural reset took place. Dame has been preaching about legacy and ownership for years, but he does so in a way that alienates others. Mase and Cam, meanwhile, have demonstrated that you can be in charge and yet enjoy yourself. They serve as evidence that Harlem changed and that people no longer wish to live in the past. Thus, it struck differently this time when they clowned Dame. It wasn't malicious. It was the type of roast that results from two men who choose to rebuild their dream in their own unique way after witnessing it go awry as children.
Out for he got some features on there, all right, cool. I knocked it out again 2 years later. He calls me again, A-Track. Well, I think if I get this other beat, man, do what you want to do. I don't even know you like that. I'm not being cool, A-Track. I want to brush him off like I don't know him now. Another 2 years come back. We in Vegas now. Yo, Larry got a studio in Vegas. Let's go there and knock the A-Track out. Again? It's 5 years. I bet, fine. Go to the studio, man. F it. 5 years done pass. I knock it out again. Some more. A-Track called me about 18 months later talking about, you want to do? No, I don't want to do nothing else, man. No. I knocked it out the first 48, but you want to keep doing shit over and over and over. Then when I hear the final, he calls me another 2 years. So now the album is like 9 years old. He calls me and says, yo, I think I got distribution. Man, I don't give a f about that album, man. The fuck you talking about we got distribution? Man, don't do whatever with that shit. It's a decade old, I don't give a f.
Let's be honest now. Dame Dash's demise took time to occur. He was one of the most influential hip-hop voices at one point. He used to be the Rockefeller man who would preach about ownership, dress flamboyantly, and stand next to Jay-Z while shouting, "We bosses." However, after the label separated, everything was different. Jay continued to construct in silence, and he went on, Dame. And that conversation eventually devolved into resentment. Dame has appeared on every podcast throughout the years, attempting to teach the younger generation about morality and integrity. However, the energy no longer feels the same. It feels more like desperation than inspiration. And that's just what Camron and Mase were pointing out. That phony, "I created the story for everyone" that Dame uses to continue talking in chats he no longer participates in. It is what it is on it. Mase said it so well. Just because you used to be around something doesn't mean you can claim credit for it. He stated, "Harlem's problem is too many people want to be the boss of everything, even when they didn't do the work. You can't claim everyone's success just because you were the loudest person in the room," Cam continued. Because those bars addressed what everyone has been thinking for years, they had a greater impact than any diss record.
Gets that honor up, and it's a lie what he said. It was a lie. So I'm like, why is he lying? And then I'm like, he knows Mook is in there. Pause. In the movie, Smoke Dizza, my OG Daniel, Black, my whole crew. So you trying to diss my whole crew and make what they did whack, but everybody else says it's good. It was in the New York Times. Kanye gave the illest premiere and everyone said it was, everyone has said that. Why would you say that?
promote it. I'm saving you by not promoting it. Shit was nasty. You my man. I ain't gonna let you go outside like that. All them other niggas who let you go outside like that, they ain't your man.
After the dust settled, Dame tried to play it off like he didn't care. He went live saying, they can joke all they want, but I'm still the blueprint. But by then, the internet had already moved on. Mase and Cam's roast clips were everywhere, turning into...
Let's be honest now. Dame Dash's demise took time to occur. He was one of the most influential hip-hop voices at one point. He used to be the Rockefeller man who would preach about ownership, dress flamboyantly, and stand next to Jay-Z while shouting, "We bosses." However, after the label separated, everything was different. Jay continued to construct in silence, and he went on Dame, and that conversation eventually devolved into resentment. Dame has appeared on every podcast throughout the years, attempting to teach the younger generation about morality and integrity. However, the energy no longer feels the same. It feels more like desperation than inspiration. And that's just what Camron and Mase were pointing out. That phony, I created the story for everyone that Dame uses to continue talking in chats he no longer participates in. It is what it is on it. Mase said it so well. Just because you used to be around something doesn't mean you can claim credit for it. He stated, Harlem's problem is too many people want to be the boss of everything, even when they didn't do the work. You can't claim everyone's success just because you were the loudest person in the room, Cam continued. Because those bars addressed what everyone has been thinking for years, they had a greater impact than any diss record.
This has been one big setup. I will say that. I think this whole from the jump is a setup, bro. Dame is beefing with 50 Cent on the internet. I bump into 50 Cent. 50 Cent sees me and be like, "Killer, what's up? Getting some money. You know, oh nigga, what you used to do back in the days, pat in the pocket, you getting that money? Cool. Me and 50 good. We ain't got no problem." Dame calls me and says, "Yo, I seen 50. How you gonna let him pap you?" This is verbatim what Dame said. I'm telling the audience verbatim. "Yo, I seen 50, you and 50, how you gonna let them pap your pockets? That ain't Harlem."
We not, Harlem niggas don't do the Pat Pat Club. When you see niggas from Harlem, just give them a pound.
"You down with the Pat Pat Club?"
We not in the Pat Pat Club.
"How you down with the Pat Pat Club, letting niggas pat your pockets?"
Yo, why he giving you the Pat Pat?
Their pockets. I say, "Damn, I don't give a fuck." Now, mind you, pause this story right there. If you gonna say something about 50 cents, what are you calling me for to get my okay if you're beefing with 50 cents? You shouldn't even have to call me about that if you're gonna be talking about 50 cents. Dame gets on the blog and says, "Yeah, and this nigga Cam let 50 cents smack him on the ass."
And here's the thing, Mase and Cam ain't doing this out of hate. They doing it out of pride.
After the dust settled, Dame tried to play it off like he didn't care. He went live saying, they can joke all they want, but I'm still the blueprint. But by then, the internet had already moved on. Mase and Cam's roast clips were everywhere, turning into memes, edits, and sound bites. The people had spoken. Harlem picked its side, and it wasn't the past, it was progress. Mase said it best near the end of the episode. We're not beefing with anybody, we're just telling the truth. And the truth doesn't expire. That line summed it all up. They weren't trying to destroy Dame. They were putting him in his place because there's a difference between being a legend and being a liability. Dame is still respected for what he built, but he lost the respect for how he acts. Camron doubled down saying, Harlem is always going to be Harlem, but we are not stuck in 2001. We're outside, we're moving forward. You either evolve with us or get laughed at from the sidelines. And that's exactly what's happening. Dame's on the sidelines watching the city evolve without him. Fans started tagging Dame under every "it is what it is" clip saying, "See what happens when you talk too much?" Some even joked, Dame better call up Mase and Cam for an interview just to stay relevant. The whole thing turned into one big Harlem lesson. Talk less, work more.
50 patted him on his hips twice. He gave him a pat pat. So I'm like, yo, why he smacking Cam on his ass like that? Pause, like what? And
Said it, and I'm like, yo, why would he say that? I called and asked you. I asked you, could I say that? That's not what you asked, could you say, because I wouldn't agree to that. I did not agree to that. But I didn't say anything. I ignored it. I ignored the whole I just didn't pick up the phone for the nigga because I'm like, so now after that, he does another interview.
And you letting 50 smack you on the hips? And y'all chilling? Something must be going on. A Harlem that never lets anybody smack him on the hips, on the ass. Not even in ball, be like, yo, stop, chill, don't smack me on my ass.
I've never known Dame to be a liar, but the truth, and I'm like, bro, I ain't know this nigga was a liar too. He never lied, man. Bro, I ignored you for wild interviews, and then I say honor up his whack, and he go on this campaign.
I think the narrative should be stop talking about Damon so much if you don't want to hear Damon talk.
You come talking about me with an eye patch and no top teeth, I gotta take it easy?
But do remember, I will have teeth next week. Holla.
So I think it's good for him. I think the internet nowadays is therapy for him. And he turned into the chatty patty that he told everybody else not to be. He probably can't afford to go to therapy right now. So this is probably good for him because he needs therapy.
The problem is that Mase and Cam aren't acting hatefully. They're acting proudly. They are fed up with the old heads attempting to gatekeep success, even though they adore their city. They create a platform that is entirely Harlem. They demonstrate that you don't need to boast about being a boss when you already act like one with their jokes, honesty, and confidence. Ultimately, the entire circumstance demonstrated why Mase and Cam are succeeding. They don't seek approval. They don't engage in combat with historical spirits. They transform everything, even hatred, into joy, laughter, and wealth. The new Harlem way is that. Thus, Dame Dash attempted to re-enter their narrative, but all he accomplished was to serve as the joke, because the people discussing ownership in 2025 aren't the true bosses. In actuality, they're the owners of their platforms. And additionally, Mase and Cam are demonstrating that nostalgia is not the foundation for Harlem's future. It rests on the results.
That's it. Mase Camron simply reminded everyone of why Harlem is now governed by them. Dame Dash only succeeded in making a joke out of himself when he attempted to change history once more. He always turns it into content when he attempts to get attached to someone else's victory. And for all the wrong reasons, Mase and Cam made him go viral this time. This served as a reality check in addition to being a roast. The new wave of Harlem doesn't require gatekeepers or previous clearance, since Harlem has changed. From nothing, Mase and Cam created something. They own it and are demonstrating that being current, not looking back, is what truly gives you power. Dame had his time. They are currently in charge of their era with humor rather than arrogance. But what are your thoughts? Was this something Dame brought on himself, or did Mase and Cam go too far? Leave a comment below and let's discuss it. Be remembered to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and like the content.